Objection. I can't wait to do some of that myself. 1 second, I'll get started here in 1 second. All right, so let's get started here. So, Aziz in Minneapolis, how you doing? Looks like you're the only person in here right now. That's fine. So I'm going to play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. So my name's Chad. I'm an actual barred attorney in the state of Minnesota. Currently a products liability attorney. Starting Monday, I'll actually be working in a new practice in employment and labor disputes. So I'm not a criminal defense attorney by any means, but I had a couple friends tell me that it'd be kind of cool if I played Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney and streamed it for their enjoyment and entertainment. So this will be really interesting. I've never played this game before. I've watched the trailer for this video, and that's about it. So we'll see what happens here. Feel free to laugh, ask all the questions in the world you want. This should be a good time. So I'm playing on a mouse and keyboard. I assume that's a good way to play this game, so I'm just going to press enter. I'm just going to click, I guess. There we go. Play this game. Episode 1, the first turnabout. Right. Play the first turnabout, yes. Oh boy. That doesn't look good. Damn it, why me? I can't get caught. Not like this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. And I'm streaming this from a machine that I normally don't stream on, so if I need to adjust the volume or anything like that, just let me know. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Whew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? This is already interesting. Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out in any way I can. I just really want to help him. I owe him that much. Alright. So we have a possible conflict of interest here. That's interesting. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death, despair, oh. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. And then she just starts smiling. Nick. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished. Can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Aw, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? What the hell? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. I'm going to go ahead and say right now that even if it's not a conflict of interest, it's never really good for a lawyer to represent their best friend. It's not a good look. It's very, very complicated, and you have some pretty big conflict issues going on. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say, though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. August 3rd, 10 a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. Well, well. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Oh, called out right off the bat. Yes, Your Honor. I'm a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Oof, that's a very interesting interaction right there. You have a judge in front of open court while one of the attorneys is sitting at counsel table, essentially calls out that attorney in front of everybody and says, "Oh, it's your first trial. Oh, you better calm your nerves." You know, I'm not sure exactly where they are in this sort of process so far, but if trial's about to start or the jury is impaneled at this point, that is a really bad thing to happen. Really gives no confidence to the jury that anything you're about to do is credible. So that's interesting. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Oh. This is odd. Yes, Your Honor. Hands shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. That would be Larry Butts. Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me what's the victim's name? Jesus. Was the victim's name even mentioned? No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank. Oh, it's cool, so am I. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Oh, of course. I know the victim's name. I just forgot temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press tab to check it at any time, okay? Alright, so tab. Cindy. She died on 7/31 between 4 and 5 p.m. Cause of death was loss of blood due to blunt trauma. No one would believe I was a defensive attorney if I didn't carry this. So is that all I get? Cindy? Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Cindy Stone. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was hit with a blunt object. Correct. We answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. Okay, so this is also very interesting. Again, not quite sure where we are, if we're in any sort of preliminary hearing or anything like that, or based on the picture before, there was a big gallery full of people. So again, if the jury's here in the courtroom, you're now presenting these facts to the jury, which really isn't allowed. The jury is to basically sit through the proceedings and listen to testimony and see evidence, and then they'll have the chance to review that evidence. Typically, light facts like that will come out in opening statements, of course, but to just have the judge sit here and say all of those things and then affirm that that stuff is correct, that's really beyond the judge's duties there. So once again, very interesting. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. I love the look on his face here. He's like, ooh. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Oh, well, so we're already taking evidence. This is very, very, very strange. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. All right. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use tab to check the court record frequently. All right, so let's press tab here. A statue in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. All right. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. Okay, so we are in trial. That's very, very odd that we skipped opening statements. We skipped jury voir dire, which is where the attorneys get to see the entire population of people selected for jury duty. They get to ask them questions. Counsel gets to strike certain jurors or move to strike certain jurors. We seem to have skipped all that, and we're now straight into trial, it looks like. This is very, very, very strange. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. All right. Sorry, 1 second here. All right, you'll get a chance here to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. All right. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Yeah, that's a hope. Uh-oh, Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Oof. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Okay. Oh, wow. So, right now you have prosecution calling a first witness. Now, generally, yes. The state, in a criminal trial, presents their case first. But they typically do so by calling one of their witnesses to the stand and doing what's called a direct examination, where these are open-ended questions, you know, your who, what, when, where, why type questions, and just kind of let the witnesses tell their story. Here it seems that prosecution has called Larry Butts to the stand and is doing what's called a cross-examination, which are closed-ended questions, really directing them to the answers. But since this is the state's case, and this is supposed to be their direct examination, this is already an objection. This is a objection for leading. And plenty of things. Assuming facts not in evidence, misleading. I'd even make a relevance objection at this point that, you know, he hasn't established enough foundation to make this fact at all relevant. Hey, watch it, buddy. Oh God, he's a terrible witness too on top of it all. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra, and Mark Antony. Oh my gosh. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumb. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me ever. Ooh. What's it to you anyway? Mr. Watts, what did you describe as generally what we mean by, quote, dumped? In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. All right, objection. Counsel's testifying. That's a really bad one. Versus what you see in movies and stuff, you know, an attorney can't get up there and just start spitting out facts. They have to pull that information from the witness. So that's a big objection right there. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. Once again, counsel's testifying. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Oh gosh, this is an awful witness. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Oh gosh. Passport added to the court record. So the victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. Okay, so another big problem here. We're just ignoring the rules of evidence. There's a very, very, very articulate process that goes into admitting evidence. First of all, this passport has little to nothing, next to nothing, pretty much nothing to do with the witness on the stand. The evidence that you present needs to be talked through with the witness. The witness has to be able to recognize it. The witness has to be able to testify to it. The witness has to be able to identify what it is in the first place. And so here we have confirmation here that it's a United States passport. So assuming this is U.S. law, this is very, 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 very not good. So plenty of objections to raise here in terms of how this attorney is presenting evidence. Indeed. She appears to have returned the day before the murder. All right. So now the judge is saying, is making these comments, and if this is in front of a jury, that's also not good, because the judge is not supposed to be saying those things. The judge is basically just an arbiter of evidentiary and procedural rulings. The jury is the fact finder in this case. The jury is the one who sees all this evidence, hears all this testimony, and they decide whether that evidence is credible or not. So the judge saying, "Oh, well, this looks like it is what you purport, counsel," and then admitting it into evidence. That's very, very procedurally incorrect. The victim was a model but did not have a large income. So, more testifying. The attorney is basically just saying all this stuff. The witness is just standing there, sitting on the stand. It appears she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude. We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Okay, so now we finally get a question. All of that stuff in between. First question, which I had already discussed. The evidence, which I'd already discussed. This attorney basically just sat there and spat a bunch of facts. Not procedurally correct at all. How a direct examination in this sort of situation goes is the attorney just asks questions and the witness answers them. And as I said on a direct examination, those are open-ended questions. What's your name? Do you know Cindy Stone? How do you know Cindy Stone? Tell me about your interactions with Cindy Stone. Things of that nature. Versus this, oh, she had a bunch of sugar daddies, blah, 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 such and such. Once again, counsel very much testifying. Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Yeah, we've noticed that so far. Absolutely. Should I stop him from answering? Shit, what was the question again? I don't even remember the question. What the hell was that question? Well, I'm going to say stop him from answering because there's been like 6 million objections that should have been made by now. My client had no idea that we don't see another man. Oh gosh, that's so bad. That's so bad. That question is irrelevant to this case. All right, so we have an objection, a relevance objection. What do you think of her now? Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's actually it's a pretty good objection. What do you think of her now? Objection. This question is irrelevant to this case. Absolutely. Specifically because this attorney hasn't laid the foundation for this question to matter. You know, do you have an opinion of Sydney Stone? What is your opinion of Sydney Stone? What is your opinion of her now? Even then, even after laying all that foundation, that question is still arguably very irrelevant because victim's dead. You know, that question doesn't answer anything to what is legally considered murder. You know, premeditation, intent, right? First degree murder, premeditation and intent. And of course, a dead body, of course. So the opinion of what Mr. Butts thinks of Cindy Stone now has no bearing on whether he premeditated murder, intended to murder, or actually followed through with the act of killing Cindy Stone. Oof, wince. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating sheet, oh Jesus Christ. I'm gonna die, I'm just gonna drop dead. Okay, so we've established that this is just a terrible witness, right? Well, that's also in part counsel's fault, the defense counsel's part, because they have to prep these witnesses. You have to sit down with these witnesses, tell them what they should be expecting, and you don't tell them or coach them on how to answer, but you tell them the demeanor that they should be having, that they shouldn't be up here just acting like this. This is absolutely terrible. In civil trials, you know, there's a lot more time for that. In criminal trials, especially with a public defender, you know, you don't get that much time. Especially public defenders that have a lot of caseloads and stuff like that. But especially if you're a private criminal defense attorney, you know, you have the time and the resources to at least sit down with the witness and let them know what trial's going to be like, so they don't get up here and just make an ass of themselves. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, oh boy, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? Oh gosh, do we even want to anymore? I believe the accused's motives is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is not looking good. So, very argumentative statement there. I think this is clear to everybody. Very rhetorical. Counsel doesn't get to argue or use rhetoric in the middle of their case. All of that stuff is saved for the end, for closing argument. When you wrap all this stuff up, you take all the facts in the testimony and the evidence that came out during trial, and then you get to present to the jury an argumentative theory of what happened. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Once again, leading question. Been a while since I played Ace Attorney. Is Butts the witness or the defendant? He's the defendant, Jake. Glad you're here. I'm not sure how long you've been here, but maybe you've heard me ramble on about some of this stuff. With you as a law student, feel free to make some additional observations, because quite frankly, we barely started this first trial, and I've been sitting here going nuts on the procedure and stuff. Gulp. Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. Oh. So if you're the prosecution here, that's a non-responsive answer. That's an objection all on its own. Objection, non-responsive. Witnesses didn't answer the question. What do I do? Have him answer honestly, stop him from asking. You know, once again, I think I'm going to do stop him from answering because, really, this is also objectable. I'll send him a signal. Lie like a dog. Oh, okay. Well, this isn't good either. Now I've committed an ethics violation. All right. Do you think the fact they went to trial like 2 days after killing affects the unpreparedness of the witness and the attorney? Yeah. That's kind of a big deal right there. Trial 2 days after. Wow. I didn't even think of that. I didn't even notice that. Let's see, it's like this. I don't remember. You don't remember? Well then, we'll just have to remind you. Got a bad feeling about this. We have a witness that can prove he did go to the victim's apartment that day. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. Oh, yeah, so I mean, order in the court. Once again, counsel just testifying 90% of his own case. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, so that first witness, Mr. Butts, cross-examination that was supposed to be a direct examination, a total of, 3 questions asked? The rest was all testimony from counsel. And now they're going to call their next witness. Very, very interesting. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. All this stuff should come out in direct examination. Were you here on such and such date? What were you doing there? Where exactly were you? Questions like that. Please bring Mr. Frank Sowit to the stand. Oh, look at this dude. Oh, that's the killer. Mr. Sowit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Oh, this guy's scummy. Look at him. You may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw the day of the murder. All right, witness's account. So, with that introduction, I'm assuming I really have to pay attention to find impeachable testimony, things of that nature. Because right now, my witness is sort of being impeached through another witness. I can't really tell exactly how this game's trying to set it up. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1:00 p.m. The man who ran was, without a doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Alright. Gotta log off and finish my last paper, but I'll definitely log in for the next year. Sounds good, Jake. Good luck with that last paper, and glad to hear that your semester's winding down, and looking forward to you graduating law school, and hopefully at some point when you take and pass the bar, we'll be able to go celebrate. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment not working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sowit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Electricity in Ms. Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. the day of the crime. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. All right, so finally we get a cross-examination where all of the questions that were just asked, the format of those questions, is really what a cross-examination is. So I'm interested to see what a cross-examination in this game is. Cross-examination, Your Honor? All right, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the tab and point out contradictions in the testimony. Alright, so electricity in Ms. Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. the day of the crime. Victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30. A statue in the shape of the thinker, it's rather heavy. Time of death, 7:31, 4 to 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. So these are all profiles. Newspaper salesman who saw Larry flee the scene. Generally bad at getting his points across. That's, yeah. A model, she lived in an apartment by herself. Likeable guy who's been my friend since grade. I wouldn't call him likable. Chief attorney at Fay & Co. So that's apparently my firm. Alright, well, let's see what happens here. Witness's account. Let's see, options. Okay, that doesn't do anything for me. Q press. Oh. Isn't a man leaving an apartment a common sight? I find it odd you would take notice of him. Heh. I don't know. He just seemed strange to me, that's all. Like he was mad and yet frightened at the same time. I just like a criminal fleeing the scene of a crime. Interesting. The defense requests the witness refrain from conjecture. All right, so now, now we're getting mad at conjecture. Okay, this is we're getting somewhere. Of course, what the witness means is that the man he saw looked suspicious. So what happened next? I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Guess we'll press on that again. Half open, you say. Yes, yes, the door was open halfway. Yes. I watched for a moment, but no one came close to the door. That's odd in a big city like this, I thought. I see, and what happened next? Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. Well, might as well press. Are you sure she was... Well, no, I guess I wasn't. But she wasn't moving at all, and there was blood everywhere. I guess that would look fatal to anyone. Very well, what happened next? I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. So, I recall him saying he tried to use the phone. So, press. So you didn't touch anything in the apartment? Yes, I mean no, nothing. Okay, what happened next? I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. Bam! Yes, I mean no, it wasn't, right. But you said you didn't go into the apartment. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere, right? Oh, that, I can explain that. There was a cordless phone on a shelf in the entranceway. I reached inside and tried using that to call. And that phone wasn't working, correct? What happened next? I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I use a public phone. Well, you see, I don't have a cell phone. And being in the middle of the afternoon, there was no answer at the nearby apartments. Huh. What time did you call again? I remember the time exactly. It was 1 o'clock p.m. All right, so let's present this. 4 to 5 p.m. Objection! Objection! You found the body at 1 o'clock p.m. You're sure? Yes. It was 1 o'clock p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was no body to find at 1 o'clock p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? See, that's a question for direct examination. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? That is an open-ended question. It lets the witness tell a story. It lets them explain. It lets them qualify. That is a direct examination question. So we have, this game is presenting examinations opposite. They're presenting cross-examinations as direct examinations and direct examinations as cross-examinations. Oh, that. Oh, This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1:00 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? The time of discovery. See, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1:00 p.m. Well, well, well. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on the taped program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. All right, so we're going between direct and cross. So in an actual trial, what happens is you get a direct examination. You want your witness to tell a story, a full story, right? And then after they tell that story, you get a cross-examination. Now, in several jurisdictions, they have what's called redirect and recross. Redirect, they get to the prosecution, in this case, would be able to ask questions, but it would need to be confined to the limit of what was brought up in direct examination and cross-examination. So this appears to be somewhat of a redirect and what is now a recross. And I can't think of any jurisdiction that allows more than one redirect and one recross. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. It's gaining a lot of confidence on this witness. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. So let's press. Let's get him to nail down his answer. You said heard, not saw? Yes, heard. All right. So now we have it narrowed down that he only heard something. This is actually important. This is a good trial skill. You really nail your witness down to their story on cross-examination. You don't want to assume anything, and you don't want to leave any open ends for them to wiggle their way out of a cross-examination. So here we're asking, so you heard it, you didn't see it, right? You heard, you did not see. This is good, because if you don't do this, they can come back and say, well, I said heard. What I meant was I saw, you know. People are stupid on the stand, and juries do actually eat that stuff up. All I saw was the body lying there. I didn't think to look at anything else, least of all my watch. Isn't that a little strange? So you're saying you heard something. But if you were so shocked by the body, you wouldn't hear anything at all. The witness did say he actually heard the time. All right, so little problems here. You know, once again, counsel testifying this stuff and really being argumentative. Like, well, if you were so shocked you couldn't hear anything, you know? That's very, very argumentative. Something you can absolutely bring up in closing arguments, but not on cross-examination here. It's ludicrous to suggest he wouldn't hear anything. I have to agree with the prosecution. Witness, continue your testimony. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. All right, so let's present this guy. Objection! Hold it right there. Hold it right there! The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard a television or video. Look at the sexy guy on the bottom. What's up, Drew? Glad you're here. Gah! My mod is now in the room. Well, the defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? So once again, this is the strangest judge in the world. You know, he's being this really kind of playing half jury, live jury, and half judge. So a judge, once again, rules on evidentiary motions or evidentiary disputes, rules on matters of procedure and things of that nature. They do not dig during trial on whether certain claims or certain theories are meritorious or not. The judge, if there's no objection, the judge will just let them talk, you know, and leave it to counsel to argue these things. And if there is an objection, you know, they're normally closed hearings outside of the ears of the jury, whether it be the judge pulling the microphone back, or possibly sequestering the jury, telling the jury to get the hell out of the room for a minute while a rule of evidence is argued or something like that. You know, like, this isn't relevant, here's why. No, and then opposing counsel will be like, no, that is relevant, here's the reason why it is relevant. And the judge says, well, according to the rules of evidence, based on the arguments that you presented to me, I agree with so-and-so such and such that this is not relevant, or this is improper character evidence. Nasan Cantor, thanks so much for the follow, man. You're pretty good. So yeah, so this judge, very, very strange, just sitting here and just kind of deciding what is credible and what isn't. That's, once again, that's up to the jury to decide that stuff. No, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite. Well, wait, I remember now. Oh, no, he's going to retract. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. So once again, not something a judge would ever want to say in front of a jury. You know, he may whisper to a client or to counsel and be like, you know, listen, you know, your witness's credibility is kind of suffering here. I think you need to help your witness recover. That you seem rather distraught. So a lot of this stuff would absolutely be horrendous for a judge on an appeal. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawit. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Hearing the time, all right. Actually, I didn't hear the time, I saw it. So now he's coming back, saying I saw, you know, that's why it's exactly why you, made that point. One of the good things that has come out of the cross-examination so far is, on cross-examination, nailed that witness down to an answer. I heard it, I didn't see it, because now he's saying, I saw it. Got this on Switch and enjoy the procedural analysis, would definitely watch more. Right on, man, right on. Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. You saw a clock? I guess that would explain it. Oh, this judge is very, very easily swayed. This deserves more views. You should upload to YouTube afterwards. Yeah, maybe I could. I'll definitely think about it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. All right, so once again, like I said before, real trial, most jurisdictions, you get one direct examination, one cross-examination, one redirect examination that needs to stay within the confines of direct and cross, and then in some jurisdictions a recross off that. That's limited to that redirect examination. Here we have a redirect, and assuming we're going to get an opportunity to recross. Gladly. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. Okay, so let's press on that immediately. That strikes me as a very suspicious mistake. So I'm hoping here he goes back to that second cross-examination where he really held that witness to that answer, that he heard the time, he didn't see it. Yes, I can see how you'd be a little doubtful. I'm really sorry. I only just remembered that table clock. A table clock? There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Once again, he never went inside, so I'm going to press on that too. A table clock? Was there a clock at the scene? This is the first I've heard of it. Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. Oh, so now he's saying it was a table clock. And according to our evidence file, it was this guy, right? So present that. Objection! Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? That's a great question. You know, so like I've mentioned a few times now, rhetoric and being argumentative is typically not allowed. So I'm just seeing, hold on, I'm just seeing now that my webcam is blocking the chat, so we'll move that over a little bit. But you can ask these like really simple questions. You're still open to objection, but it's one of those things that sometimes it's not recommended to do often, but what you can do is you can ask a question you know you're going to get objected to just so the jury can hear it, right? As long as it's not an egregious question, like an egregious violation of any procedural rules. You know, like if you had this evidence, if you could just hold up this statue, right, and be like, is it your testimony today that this is a clock? You know, they can object, be like argumentative, be like I withdraw the question. I mean, you know, the jury hears it, and it's just ridiculous already, right? So, how is this supposed to be a clock? I wouldn't ask it like that because, once again, that's an open-ended question. It allows the witness to explain themselves. Now, exactly how they'd explain themselves here is, you know, pretty tough, but, you know, liars are creative. Wah! You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? I'm Phoenix Wright, ace attorney. Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. That's a clock. Yeah, block that one instead. You know what I said? Just for you, Drew. There we go. Oh, shit. Now I'm screwing up my own stream. All right. Your Honor, if I may. Oh, how's he gonna get through this? Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. Alright, so... I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? Let's see here. Yes, right? I mean, unless it's actually a fucking clock. I'm just gonna say yes. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand, and also to enter the room. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Look at that. That ain't no clock. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he... You know, this is interesting. You want to say he knew the victim, right? You have nothing to back that up. What you do have to back that up is that he actually went into the apartment. Now, with how crazy this game is, I'm tempted to say he knew the victim, but there's nothing. There's nothing to back that up. What you need for something like that is what's called a good faith basis. At least that's the baseline of what you need. Is a good faith basis, meaning you have something, some piece of evidence or some witness that is able to testify to that argument that he knew the victim. Whether it's you have a witness prepared, or you've talked to somebody who said they're willing to be a witness, who can say, yes, this person, Mr. Sewit, knows Cindy Stone. I know because I was Mrs. Stone's neighbor and I've seen them interact. That might be all that witness has to say. That witness might not be able to testify to whether Mr. Sewit killed Sidney Stone, or whether he had a problem with Sidney Stone, or even if he was there on that particular day. But that's the baseline, a good faith basis that you can provide some sort of testimony or evidence to suggest what you're purporting, which that he knew the victim. But since this is crazy, I'm just going to say he knew the victim. Tell me, isn't it true that you knew the victim? In fact, you were one of her sugar daddies. Be frank with us, Mr. Sewit. Oh gosh, this is awesome. Frank? I'm always frank. Your Honor, you have complete records of the victim's relationships. Mr. Frank Sewit does not appear anywhere. Huh? Oh, really? Please, Mr. Wright. Is huh the best response you can muster up? Okay. Try to refrain from making off-the-cuff accusations in the future. Yes, Your Honor. Let me think this over. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Damn, that paper slap is badass. This game is sick. I never heard of him, but never seen. Yeah, this is kind of fun. I mean, I won't lie. You know, this is my first playthrough on this, and this is a very interesting game. You know, aside from all of the protests I'm making over procedure for this game, I'm absolutely enjoying it. It's very entertaining. Oh yeah, prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I'll prove you were the one who killed her. Ooh boy. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. Ooh. That was the sound you heard. Order in the court. So again, I mean, that's an argument. You can certainly make that, you can certainly bring that out in closing argument. Because that's when you can theorize. You can say, you lay out all the evidence. F's in the chat for the RC Cola lovers out there. Yeah, Super Judge, that's what's up. You know what? I'll put an F in the chat. F in the chat. So, I mean, that's when you can say, you can review all the evidence and testimony, stuff like, you know, in his direct examination, Mr. Sawit told you that he never went inside the apartment. But yet, you'll recall on cross-examination, Mr. Sawit contradicted himself and admitted that he actually went inside. You know, and Mr. Sawit, you can talk about the clock and be like, Mr. Sawit then said the statue was indeed a clock. And indeed, yes, the statue is a clock. But how did he hear the time? He heard the time because he took that clock and struck the victim over the head with it. Things of that nature. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. See, this is all good closing argument stuff. That's why you were so certain about the time. Scare. Objection! Well, what's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture, which it really is. Baseless. Just look at the witness's Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never. Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw. Wow. It was a rug this entire time, and that, my friends, just goes to show you that the truth will set you free. I saw him. He killed her and he should burn, give him death. Order in the court, I say. Elaborate ruse indeed, Super Judge. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright. Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I'd better think it through carefully. Your Honor, the sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... See, this is what I mean about good faith basis. You have no good faith basis for this. You don't have any neighbors, presumably, to be your good faith witnesses. The clock's batteries have no bearing on anything. The only thing left is to try sounding the clock. And let's be honest, this is super risky unless you've actually heard that clock. So let's just try sounding the clock. That's really all you can. That's really all you can go with. There's no neighbor to testify, presumably. The clock's batteries have no bearing on anything. Let's sound the clock now here in this court. Yeah, very, very, very big gamble here. Your Honor, may I have that clock? $8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker after all. So we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ack! As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Switt heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Switt, try and talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. Uh-oh. What's he talking about now? Well, it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow. It proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. No, see, that's not true at all. You absolutely have a case. It's up to the jury to determine whether that evidence is credible or not. You don't need to do that. But it should also just be simply noted here that the defendant in this trial is your friend, Mr. Butts. As a defense attorney, you have no reason to try and, well, you can't convict Mr. Switt right here. This isn't his trial. He's not on trial here. What you could do is you could do all these contradictions and stuff like that, and then suggest that he was the murderer, at which time prosecution, whether it's county attorney, what have you, whatever jurisdiction you're in, can then take the evidence in the testimony of this trial and then pursue a separate charge against Mr. Switt. So no, you don't have to prove this at all. BSwitch64, thanks so much for the follow, much appreciated. You're pretty good. Thanks for joining in. So yeah, that's just blatantly false. You don't need to prove anything here. Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Switt. Come all the way down here to testify and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! Your lawyers are all slime. Yes, yeah, we kind of are. Yeah. Grrr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry, I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Switt. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason, and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason as to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Sure. Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Oh, let's see here. So it's one of these things, and I'm kind of racking my brain here. What demonstrates a clock is 3 hours slow. From noon to 6 p.m. The victim apparently arrived home from Paris on 7:30 the day before the murder. Loss of blood due to blunt trauma from 4 to 5 p.m. I have no idea. Let's just bring the clock in again, I guess. Take that. Excuse me? This proves your claim? How? I can't see what that evidence has to do with the clock. It is the clock. Don't. That wasn't it. One more chance. Give me just one more chance. Time is not on your side. Be quick about it. Let's see this evidence prove why the clock was running slow. Passport, I guess. It's the only thing remaining, right? Take that! The victim had just returned abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is, oh, look at that, it's 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. Oh, look at that. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in the apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sewit? I say, Mr. Did It. Oh boy. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. World War 85, how is it so far? It's a fun game. There's a lot wrong with it procedurally, but it's still fun. Still very, very fun to play, very fun to talk through. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Your witness, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. Me neither. Jeez. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. Yay! Confetti in the courtroom. Imagine that. And with that, this court is adjourned. World War 85, thanks so much for the follow, man. Much appreciated. You're pretty good. So yeah, biggest thing I have to say, and I guess I gave a lot of the details of how things were supposed to. I'll give a very broad view of how a criminal trial goes. Like, first, before the criminal trial even begins, in an American jurisdiction, something like murder is almost always going to be a jury trial. So you're going to have impaneled jury members. So you start with what's called a voir dire, where both counsels, prosecutor and defense, line up all the jury members and get to ask them questions. And the main point there is to try to find bias, right? Try to find jurors who may be biased against your client, may be biased against the state even for the prosecution, things of that nature. So, I mean, say you have something like a really, really, really nasty sex assault case or something like that. You can ask questions like, oh, please raise your hand if you personally know any victims of sexual assault. Someone raises their hand, ma'am, would you feel comfortable talking about that today? Yes. Ma'am, would you be able to tell me what happened? Blah, 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 such and such. You find out, sometimes you find out that they have serious biased feelings. They may come out and say things like, I think rape is terrible. It'd be incredibly a big leap for them to say something like this, but they could say something like, every time I hear somebody is accused of rape, I immediately think they're guilty, right? So I mean, that's a jury you want to strike, right? Especially if you're defense. So you do that. You also go through something called motions in limine, where all of the evidence, all the physical evidence, all the documentary evidence is reviewed by both sides. Anything that could potentially be admitted into trial, right? And both attorneys get to write and argue motions in limine, which is they'd look at the rules of evidence and say, well, this evidence should not be admitted. It's not admissible for this reason. And then the judge, who is the gatekeeper for evidence, is the one who gets to decide whether that evidence is admissible or not. Now, if it's admissible, does not necessarily mean it is admitted into evidence. It just means that both parties can have that evidence available to them to present it in trial. So then when the actual trial starts, prosecution, state goes first. They present their case. They bring up all their witnesses. They do direct examinations. As I had said before, these are open-ended questions. Who are you? What's your name? How do you know this? How do you know this person? Where were you on such and such date? How did this happen? Questions like that. And then defense gets to cross-examine those witnesses, and those are your close-ended questions. Your name is Mr. Sawit, correct? You sell newspapers, correct? You testified on direct examination that you saw Mr. Butts on such and such date, correct? You limit them to yes or no. And once they go through all those witnesses, the defense can raise a motion for a directed verdict, meaning basically saying the prosecution hasn't brought enough evidence or hasn't brought enough testimony to sufficiently fulfill the elements of a certain crime. Like, they cannot prove premeditation. They have not shown that this court has jurisdiction. They have not shown any evidence of intent, such and such. And trial could end there if that's true. But then it turns to the defense side. The defense then gets to present witnesses in the same manner, and then they close with closing arguments, which, like I said, 90% of the stuff that happens in this game, saying like, you were the one who actually killed Cindy Stone. That's when that type of argument can be brought in. But trial itself, very, very fact-based, very, very evidence-based. You present that stuff. The jury gets to look it over, and they're the ones who get to decide what's credible and what isn't. And of course, as you all know, it's the jury who then decides guilt or innocent based on the merits of the case. Judge being the gatekeeper for procedure, the jury being the fact finder for evidence and testimony. Turns out that Frank Sawit was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawit let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Ever encountered a Batson challenge during voir dire? No, I am a... that's something I'll make clear. I'm not actually a criminal defense attorney. I do civil litigation, so no, never that stuff. But Batson challenge is a pretty big deal, especially if it's a valid one. That's really not good for the counsel who's electing to strike. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Ooh, still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. my life is. This dude. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone. Oh, geez, that doesn't sound good. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. She was nah, never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks, I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner, movie, my treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You? You made this? Oop. Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just paying me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Oh, yeah, right. It's a pretty macabre thing to present. That's a murder weapon. I'm guessing it's on here. Take that! Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am. Thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner on me? That's nice, boss. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah! You're saying part of the reason you became a lawyer was because of him. Part, at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime, maybe. Over drinks? So my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us, unless you count the clock he gave Mia. didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. Oh boy. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. Easy. The end. Oh boy, so that was episode 1 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. A brand new episode has been added. Okay, so episodic type of game. Gosh, do I have another one in me? Yeah, I think I could probably do so. I'm sure the kid will wake up if I do another one, but that's okay. Wow, fun game though. It's really fun. And see, as much as I have complained about some of the stuff in this game, I understand it is the way it is, and it's the same reason. It's the same reason it is the way it is in like movies and stuff, right? I mean, it has to be entertaining. If any of you actually go to a trial, they're never very sexy. Especially if you're just spectating, if you're not a jury member, it seems very boring. It moves very slow at times. So putting it into this kind of format is what kind of gives it the excitement. So I absolutely understand why they do it the way it is. But yeah, it's just fun to point out the discrepancies. If you know any attorneys, I mean, it's kind of a hobby of ours when we watch like law movies and stuff like that, of what's inaccurate, stuff like that. And I'm sure that's how it is in a lot of different professional realms. But for lawyers at a game like this, do we expect it to be accurate? No. Can we still enjoy the entertainment value behind it? Absolutely. This is incredibly entertaining. All right, so a brand new episode has been added. Saving content. Cool, I get to save my game. Yes, sure. Getting a phone call. Hey Maya, it's me. Mia? What's up? You haven't called in a while. Lonely? It's all your fault. Uh-oh. Nah, I'm just teasing. So, not quite sure who this is, but... Favor. Hold evidence. Oof. Oof. I just don't feel safe keeping the evidence here. A clock. It's a sister. The clock isn't talking right now. Huh? It's not working? That's lame. I did take the clockwork out, sorry. I put some papers inside it instead. Papers? Is that the evidence then? Well, there's a possibility that it might turn out that way, yes. Say 9 o'clock to pick it up. Be in a pre-trial meeting until then. I expect dinner, something good. Burgers. Really go for a good burger. I'd go for a good burger too. So chat, what's your favorite What's your favorite burger? There's plenty of options there. Let me know what your favorite burger is. We can discuss that too. We'll hit the usual joint. All right, it's a deal. Okay, sis. See you soon. Yep, I'll be waiting, Maya. All right, so big problem. Attorney asking, a third party who's not involved with the trial in any sort of respect to hold on to evidence for them. So for criminal trials especially, that evidence needs a chain of custody. It needs to be held, and there needs to be a very clean record of who holds on to that evidence. If I'm the other side, I'm raising absolute hell about this, that somebody else is holding on to evidence. Evidence could be tampered with. It could be moved to be the idea that it might be the other side might be trying to destroy it, something like that, especially without the opportunity for me to examine that evidence as well. Now, is this a possibility if one party brings up the idea of having an evidence custodian? Yes, but that needs to be very forthcoming. And the court's going to very much explore that and decide whether that's a good custodian for evidence. Conversation recorded. See that? That's not good. Oh, man. Matt, I see that you're watching, and gosh, you're kind of a dick. But that's kind of funny, too. Wow. Fast food baconator in general? Small town dive bar can be good. Absolutely. Absolutely. Small town dives are always really good. I found out recently that Matt's bar is doing delivery. So if you're in the Minneapolis area, definitely go get some Matt's delivered to you. Get yourself a Juicy Lucy. Matt, you're really putting me on the spot to answer that question. But yeah, that's my kid. You're such a dick. You won't even put it in chat, dude. You won't even put it in chat. You have to Facebook message me separately. Now the chat here is probably super confused as to what's going on. Here we go. What does Chad think of Nick Wright? Oh gosh. Yeah, I said it before. I'm absolutely fine saying it again. It's hilarious. This game is hilarious. Nick Wright is very cool. He's very fascinating. I love his little mannerisms in court. It drives me wild. Procedurally, this game is a train wreck. It's an absolute train wreck. But man, it's highly entertaining. I'll take what's mine, the papers. See, here's the problem, right? I assume this is a problem. It sounds very shady. I'm sorry, but I can't give you what I don't have. Miss Fay, you are a poor liar. Let's swallow those papers. Ho ho! You are not cogniferous of my background. Gathering information is my business, you see. I should have been more careful. Ho ho! My dear Miss Fay. Tina? Tina Fey? I'm so very sorry, but I am afraid I must ask you for one more thing. Uh-oh. Your eternal... Is eternal silence? Is this going to be a running theme for the murders in this game? Your eternal silence. Yo, is my boss dead already? That's a scummy looking dude. Looks like a plaintiff's attorney. Mia Fey is everything to me, FYI. You know, she seems pretty cool. And I hope she's not dead. Hashtag got him. Aw. Uh-oh, I'm late. Oh, that's strange. Guess the chief left without me. Sendy oh my god, Matt. You would make that name. Yeah, it's my kid. Yes, I know Lund has a fucked up eye. We make fun of it all the time. But why do we have to involve all these other viewers with Lund's problems? God, Matt. You know, why can't you just enjoy the stream? Oh, Matt, I do miss you. Hope we get to hang out soon, and have a good time again over some beers, maybe some steaks, some prime rib. That'd be a good time. But thanks for joining, man, and thanks for making a Twitch account just so you could talk shit to me in my stream. She said her sister was coming over, so we'd all go out for dinner. What's that smell? Blood? Mia! Maybe she's in her office. What am I doing here? If it was Cobra Club. You know, I keep hearing about Cobra Club. And yeah, I definitely want to check it out. No fear in this chat, not at all. That smell. Blood. Someone's there. Oh gosh. Chief? Chief? Chief! Who are you? Wow. Her body was still warm. I could feel it when I held her shoulder. Shards of glass are scattered on the floor. They seem to be the remains of a glass light stand. No clues here. It's encrusted with dried blood. How ironic that this became the murder weapon again. There's a large building right across from the office. The Great Water Hotel, a nice luxurious place. Huh, same thing. Looks like some blood on there. She was struck on the head with a blunt object. She probably died instantly. Oh, she's dead? Some glass shards near the chief's body. Nothing else that seems like a clue here. Piece of paper must have fallen from Mia's hand. Maya. Did Mia write this? This piece of paper is a receipt from a department store dated yesterday. Alright, so obviously, probably should have called the police right away. You know, you don't need to be a lawyer to know this stuff. But now, as an attorney, you're not even assigned to this case yet, but you're collecting evidence, which is not good for you. You definitely want the police to find that stuff first. Nope. So obviously that doesn't take a whole lot of, that's not a lot of legal analysis. You don't need to be a lawyer to figure any of that stuff out. But I guess the only thing I'd say is, you know, you're not a lawyer assigned to the case until you've actually been retained or otherwise assigned by a court. Where'd she go? Oh, I hope she didn't run on me. Oh, there she is. Yipes! Don't scare me like that. I work here. Maya Fey. Maya. I never thought there'd be a use for evidence like this outside the courtroom. Just ask what happened. I came in, the room was dark, and sis, so she was already dead. So you're the chief's sister. She said she wanted me to keep some evidence for her. Evidence? Yes, it was that clock. The thinker. Alright, so like I said before, third parties being custodians of evidence without any sort of approval from a court. Yeah, that's typically not good. That is your name. Why? Why would she write my name? Now I've done it. Yeah. How about the thinker? I know, I saw it there too. Maybe. So we still haven't called the police. So let's do that. Right, I'd better call the police. A few of the screws on the receiver are missing. Ruh-roh. Please come quick. Oh boy. Ultra neat handwriting. That is pretty ancient. Look at that monitor. Case records and recent rulings. Chief's chair. Simple, functional design. Feels pretty good to sit in, too. All right, well. Wee, wee, wee. There, is that better? Sorry, I guess I accidentally disconnected my own microphone. Got a person saying they saw a murder. Must have been that woman I saw. I don't want either of you moving 1 inch, okay? Great, just great. Nah. Excuse me. Oh boy. Oh, this guy's gonna be my bestie? Is he really? I mean, like I said, he kind of looks like Marv from Sin City. That's my name. What? In her own blood, see? With her dying breath, she wrote down the killer's name. It's a jump to conclusions mat. You see, it's a mat that you put on the floor with different conclusions that you can jump to. Arrested on the spot. So here's something interesting. So he was taken in for questioning, and so is she. Was he being accused of a crime? Clearly, if he's taken in for questioning, you're in a position where you're considered detained. That's a really good opportunity to say, no, I'm not talking to you. Waiting for visiting hours to end and begin at the detention center. I had to talk to Maya as soon as possible. Oh, they have poor Maya locked up like a criminal. Oh, it's you, the lawyer. Good morning. So she's in jail. They let her keep her clothes. Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. Of course I will. I'll be the hero. Cheer up. What? Did I say the wrong thing? What's wrong? No one could. Who would believe me? I understand. Poor girl. And I've also heard about you. Oh, now she's smiling, you know? Oh, poor Mia. There she is, alive and well. Today was my junior partner's first time in court. Wow, really? How'd that go? It was quite the scene. Honestly, I was on edge the whole time. It's been a while. So he crashed and burned? He's a genius. One of those strike fear into the hearts of evil types. The only thing he's lacking is experience. It was pretty fun. I don't know, Maya. I think you might want to wait. Give him 3 more years. Oh, Shazam. Unless you want to be... Oof. Mia. Your last words about me. They sting. I'm sorry? It's true, I guess. At the same time, I can't just sit by and watch. I know. Smile for the camera. Look at this dude. Okay. We'll talk to her, I guess. There's something I've been wanting to ask you. What's with that outfit? This is what all acolytes wear. It's my uniform, you could say. Acolyte? What the? Acolytes? Like people in religious training? Oh, it's nothing strange, really. A spirit medium. Is there a story behind the pick of Paul Thyssen? Paul Thyssen? You talking about Chief Justice John Roberts on the left side? Second from the bottom? Let's talk about spirit mediums. Yeah, so I have Chief Justice John Roberts on there for 2 reasons. One, I'm a huge fan. especially in the last 4 years since he's kind of become the swing vote after Kennedy departed the Supreme Court. Excellent writer. In my opinion, best, possibly, perhaps second best writer on the Supreme Court. Toss-up between himself and Alina Kagan. Yeah, just a big fan. On my Final Fantasy VI stream, where I have borders on both sides, I actually have Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the other side too. Not a big fan of her writing, to be honest, but she just had such a interesting legal career, so I throw her on there. I can actually pull that up real quick and go back. So there it is. Yeah, of course I also have Maverick from Top Gun on there and stuff too. But yeah, second reason is when I play Tekken, which is the primary game that I stream, my Steam name is Chief Justice John Roberts, so I might as well throw the picture on there to match. The Fae family, especially women, have always been sensitive to the spirit world. Ooh. The Fae family? Mia was into this stuff too? Of course! She left the mountain to follow her career, she said. Her powers were first class too. I had no idea. Wait! What? So you're a real, honest-to-goodness spirit medium with ESP and all that? Yes, in training. Well, can't you contact me as spirit then? We can just ask who killed her. Man, we're really jumping to conclusions here. I'm still in training. Wah, wah, wah. I couldn't do something on that level. The day of the crime. Yes. Let's see, that morning I got a call from my sister. She wanted me to hold on to a piece of evidence for an upcoming trial. Evidence? Yes, that clock shaped like the Thinker. The one Larry made. How could that have been evidence in a case? Something about that... I remember. Do you want to hear it in her own voice? Oh. You recorded it. Conversation with your sister on your cell phone. Let's hear it. Right. That detective took my cell phone. Next time I see Detective Gumshoe. I like the little picture of the evidence there. It looks like this really long memorandum, but really it just says a conversation I had with my sister is recorded on my cell phone. Something the matter? A favor. A famous lawyer. My sister gave me this a long time ago. She said if I was ever in trouble, I should call him. I'm in trouble. Sure, why not? I'll go ask. Thank you so much. What about your parents? Must be dead. I see. The trial's tomorrow. Man, this is the fastest jurisdiction in the world. Oh my gosh. So you have murder on one day, collect all the evidence inside of that day, and possibly the next, and then the day after, you get a full trial. That is crazy. Depending on where you are, like in Minneapolis, for something like murder, you're looking at a trial like a year. That's like the timeline you're looking at. It's like a year between the court system being tied up, time for discovery, all the pretrial motions that get filed and argued, all that good stuff. You know, yeah, you're looking at like a good 6 months up to a year for a murder trial, especially a high-profile one. Like this might be considered pretty high profile, especially given the circumstances. You know, you have what appears to be a minor being accused of murdering her sister, right? Who's an attorney, a defense attorney. You know, that really shakes the legal realm, right? So yeah, this is pretty high profile. This would probably be a pretty profile case in most jurisdictions. They have time. Yeah, they have time where they are, clearly, and clearly their police work incredibly diligently, and their attorneys are expected to be fully prepared for trial inside of 48 hours. Oh gosh. What if this guy refuses? They tell me that if I don't find one, the state will pick an attorney to defend me. Well, when will that happen? They're giving me until 4 o'clock this afternoon. And visiting hours are almost up. I better hurry. You're right, I'll be back. Looks like I better make my way to Grossberg Law Offices. Oh, I bet it's the dude that fucking killed her. The big boss is out. She couldn't say when he'd be back. It is a nice office. To a deep luster. They don't look like they've ever been read. You know, that's kind of funny. That's a fun little detail. If you walk into most lawyers' offices, you know, we'll have the bunch of appear to be smart books up there. I admit, in my office, I have a couple of those, just books that make me look really smart and super educated and well read. That most of them I haven't really read. So that's ironic. That painting has been bugging me ever since I stepped in here. The oil paint is so thick it's practically giving me a stuffed nose. See, this game is realistic. Yeah, it's realistic. You know, it's got all the fine details of lawyer life, you know. We were called scumbags earlier. It's just kind of true. We have books on our bookshelf that we don't read. This guy's not even in his office. I mean, try to find a lawyer in his office. Good luck, right? Always out for lunch. Out for coffee. He's on the road. He's traveling. Elegant ebony case. The lighter is made of solid gold. Yeah, returning video. Exactly. Patty will appreciate that too. I have to return some videotapes. Hold on, let's do it up. I have to return some videotapes. Where are you going? I have to return some videotapes. Oh, what'd I do? Oh, noob shit. There we go. All right. Let us proceed. Yes, Faye & Co. is the only place to go right now. The office is filled with police officers. Hey, you there. Oh, there's Marv. Don't you know me from somewhere? You're that Butts guy, aren't you? Phoenix Wright. How could anyone mistake me for Larry? Sorry about that. That Butts guy. He was a killer. And you're no killer, right? He was proven innocent. Detective Gumshoe. Dick Gumshoe. Ah, Detective Gumshoe to me. Don't go calling me Dick. Hey, Dick, get over here. Oh, he's under the whip from somebody. You're a lawyer, right, pal? Better do it quick. Oh, boy. That's sad. Only thing missing is Mia. Mia probably read all of those. See, she's a good lawyer, unlike us, the rest of us. She's a good lawyer. She actually reads the books on her shelf. Mia's favorite potted plant? Cordyline stricta, pal. There's that hotel right across the way. So it's kind of funny that you're here investigating all of this stuff. You know, as an attorney, you really don't investigate like this. This is these are things that you go ahead and you, on the criminal defense side, from what I understand, you go ahead and you hire your private investigator to go get facts and stuff like that. So, also very interesting. Let's talk to this guy. Talk about Mia. Sure. An autopsy? She might have been your boss, but that doesn't mean you get any special treatment. All right. Wow, he really retracts really quick. So wow, kind of like we were saying before, you know, things move really, really fast wherever this is, because not only do you get an autopsy performed day after or night of, you actually get a coroner's report within that time frame. That is, I have some friends who would like to have that. 9/5, 9 o'clock, instantaneous. About Maya. But this is one trial you weren't going to win. The city's put prosecutor Edgeworth on the prosecution. All right, who is Edgeworth? Is he like the prosecutor? Mr. Miles Edgeworth himself. Oh, not Miles Edgeworth. Of course not. Never heard of him. Whoa, you call yourself a lawyer, pal? Edgeworth became a prosecutor at the age of 20. Wow. So that would mean let's give somebody the pure benefit of the doubt and say that they finished law school in like 2 years. Yeah, that would mean like they graduated from high school at like, let's say they graduated law school in 2 years, and let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say they graduated undergrad in like 3. No, we'll give them 2 years even, so it's 4 years of post-secondary education. That means the dude graduated high school when he was like 15 years old, went straight through, and then somehow, between all that time, got enough experience and good references for a state attorney's office, or sorry, a county attorney of somewhere in the United States to hire him at age 20. That is mind-blowing. This guy must be like the genius. Everyone says he's a genius. Surprised you don't know him. I was just playing dumb. Heartless machine will do anything to get a guilty verdict. Oh! He's got his thumb on the scale of the state. I hate him already. There are rumors of back alley deals and forged evidence. Ooh, that's a real piece of shit. And you'll see his lineage. Yeah, definitely a time turner for sure. All I know for sure is that Edgeworth hates crime with an almost abnormal passion. I never imagined I'd be facing him so soon. Looks like that's... Oh yeah, we gotta give I was wondering, did you see Maya Faye's cell phone? Oh, she's got a Nokia. How'd the Nokia chime go? I forgot. Bet she played a lot of Snake on that phone. Think you could give it back? Sure, I mean, wait a second, pal. Tricky lawyer. Let's tell him straight. Oh no, it's just, you know, detective. I know nothing, pal. Like her boyfriends. See, now we're lying. This isn't good. This is not good. This is very, very unethical. Sweetest and spiciest secrets. I already checked all the numbers in the memory. Impressive. You're quite the detective. You can have the phone. There aren't any suspicious call records in there after all. So, this guy, Phoenix Wright, he is really all about not being such an ethical lawyer here. He's really trying to get disbarred here, trying to obtain evidence to hold himself. You have a situation where you have a third party who was being told to hold evidence from this law firm, Fay & Company. This is going to be a very interesting hearing in front of the Ethical Standards Board. Thank you. I'll be heading out now. Oh, wait, one more thing. You're planning on talking to that witness. I better not. With your lawyerly ways, pal. Oh, so that one, the one who saw it and called the police. I'd completely forgotten about her. Miss April May. I can't tell you anything about her. You're trying your lawyerly tricks on me now. Until the trial. So she's still in the hotel. Okay. You present any of this other stuff? It's Statue? It's a murder weapon. He thinks the clock is just a statue too. No proof that Mia wrote it. Let's see if old boy's back yet. Nope, doesn't look like it. Go talk to our witness here. All right, so this is also very interesting because here you have a witness, and it sounds like it hasn't been expressly stated, but it very much implies that she's a state witness, that she's a witness for the prosecution, that the prosecution has already spoken with her, which doesn't surprise me because everything moves super fast in this jurisdiction, wherever it may be. So if you have a state witness like that, a witness who's already been basically taken in from the other side, if you want to talk to that witness, you have to do it through counsel. You can't just go over there all by yourself. Once again, this is a big ethical violation, and Phoenix Wright, ace attorney, brand new lawyer, is looking to be on the fast track to get disbarred. Well, hello there, handsome. Oh, she's a flirty one. Smooth, Wright, real smooth. He said, don't say nothing to that lawyer, pal. Tee-hee. For making my job harder. All like something out of a movie. Yeah, it really does feel like something out of a movie. Of the beautiful witness. I pity the lawyer that has to cross-examine this one. Sounds like it might be you. Oh, she's got some champ. Somebody must be staying with her. Streams through the window. You can see the inside of the room pretty clearly. There's a screwdriver. Oh! What are you doing? No touching. Bad boy, uh-oh. You really shouldn't pry around in other people's rooms now. Upset. Yeah, I guess we'll talk. Miss May. Just who exactly are you? This is a wonderful way to open the conversation. Find out about your witness, find out what makes them tick, get a good feel for them. The more you learn about a witness when you're interviewing them, that can help drive the conversation. That's kind of your basic 101 social skills there. You're cute when you blush. Like, why is she standing like that? Like this, you know? Kind of reminds me of the president a little bit. Like, so great, the greatest. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. I won the election by a lot. Can you just tell me what it is you do? No. Had your little hopes up. Oh. Yeah, what's going on with his room? Is someone staying here with you? Amazing powers of observations. I'm just a lawyer. Do a lot of investigating. There I go, unplugging my headset on accident again. Miss May doesn't like nosy little lawyers. Describe what you observed at the time of the incident. See that? Going back to that first trial we had about direct examinations, that is a wonderful question on direct examination. Tell me what you observed at the time of the incident. That opens up all sorts of possibilities. And you let your witness talk. Let your witness tell the story. You sound like a lawyer in the movies. I like a man with a big vocabulary. Ooh, a little innuendo. The bad thing. Pretty please. Dream on. Oh gosh, if you want to know, you'll just have to come to court tomorrow, Mr. Lawyer. Whew. I'll go back, I guess. Try presenting a few things? I don't know. She's a police witness. So like I said, she's a state witness, and here we are interviewing her without representation of counsel. I have a feeling we're not going to get very far. What a weirdo. Flowers are fake. Still scene painting? Wait, should that be still life? A simple bed. It's been recently made, nothing eye-catching. All right, well, let's see if old Grossberg is back. Well, looks like he's back. All right, so not the person who killed him. Yes, that's me. You're a lawyer now, are you? See, that'd be kind of cool. I wish I had a little badge of honor to wear on my lapel to show me off as a lawyer. No, I would never wear that. Oh my gosh. And what do you want? I wonder if he's back. If he's back from returning videotapes. And how come no one could get in touch with you? Something the matter? The one and only Marvin Grossberg. What do you want? Out with it. Maya Fey. Ah, yes. Maya Fey. Go on. Cha-cha. I'm really quite busy here, son. On a day's notice? No, it's quite impossible. You won't take a case on a day's notice, but here, trials occur within 48 hours. So he needs a 36-hour notice, not 24. He needs 36 hours. Anyway, I'm afraid it's entirely impossible for me to represent her. Sorry. End of discussion. Let's talk about that painting. Butter him up a little bit. It's his own pride and joy. The hue of the sea, the weave of the straw hat. At least 3 million. I have no intention of parting with it, of course. Not even to you. Wow, guy's a little over the top. She worked here a long time ago. Quite the apprentice, that one. All right. Learned my techniques in the blink of an eye. She left one day quite suddenly. A mission? A burning passion. Never look back, that one. Tell me why you won't take the case. You see, it's just I'm busy. But the client is Mia Fey's sister. She knew her sister would be in good hands. However, I must refuse. Goodbye. Creep. Grumble. I think not, I said. No lawyer worth their salt will take on this particular case. I cannot say. Oh. I have nothing more to discuss. Oh, something's a little fucky here. Well, looks like you won't talk. All right. Well, back to the detention center, I suppose. Hiya. I'm back. Just be honest. See, that's best practice as an attorney when you come into moments of conflict like this is just be honest. Be very upfront, be very forward, especially with a client. You know, the client, you got to deliver a client bad news sometimes. It sucks, but it's what you got to do. Lying is never good, especially at the court. Never lie to the court. Never tell lies in front of the court. Never lie in court. Believe it or not, lawyers are held to a very high ethical standard when it comes to being forthcoming and truthful. What really happened? See, here we go. You don't mean he refused to help? Erp. I've been abandoned then. Well, let's have a chat. What about your family? Only had sister. Dad died when she was young. No idea where mom is. So she could still be alive? Have been mediums for generations. A lot of spiritual power runs in our blood. Ooh. About 15 years ago. Family was involved in an incident. There was a man and he ruined our mother's life. She disappeared. She would become a lawyer and she left the mountain. So something happened that caused Mia to become a lawyer. You live by yourself? Yes, I've gotten used to it. Also, had to become independent or I'd lose my powers. This man who ruined, quote, your mother. Everyone was talking about it, apparently. The police were running out leads and they were getting desperate. They didn't use a spirit medium, did they? To try and contact the victim. The case was solved, we thought. You thought? The man my mother helped the police capture was innocent. The police's consultation with the medium had all been carried out in secret, of course. But a man found out about it and leaked it to the press. Told all the papers that my mother was a fraud, and the media jumped on it big time. She, my mother, became the laughingstock of the nation. Oh boy, doesn't sound good. White? Excuse me? White? That was his name, my sister told me. White? Just a little longer now before the state-appointed lawyer comes, I guess. We'll defend Maya. I've made up my mind. I've made up my mind. I'm gonna defend you whether you want me to or not. Well, someone else is the culprit. You aren't the culprit. Someone else is. How do you know? I have a hunch. Given the evidence, it would be easy to assume that Maya was the killer. But there's something about this whole thing that smells fishy. Good pro bono work. Indeed. Something tells me she can't pay. That witness's strange behavior, was that all an act? And the way that lawyer refused to help out Maya. More than all that, she has no one left to help her. Nothing is more sad or more lonely than that. I know, I've been there a long, long time ago. Oh, we're going to learn a little bit about Phoenix now. Why did I become a lawyer in the first place? Because someone has to look out for the people who have no one on their side. Maya, I won't abandon you. You can count on me. That's so kind of you. Oh, she's going to start crying. Well, let's fight this one and get you out of here. She smiled, at least. One last question. You are innocent, right? Yes! And I trust you. So you trust me too, okay? It's a deal. So what next? There's something that's been bugging me. But what was inside that drawer? Day of the crime. I know it must be hard. All I've been doing the last few hours is talking about it. I've kind of gotten used to it. That morning I got a call from my sister. She wanted me to hold on to a piece of evidence for an upcoming trial. That's the thinker clock that Larry made. Practically qualifies as a serial murderer by now. So then, when did you arrive at the office? It was right around 9 o'clock. The lights were off and I could smell blood. Then I found her, my sister. Thanks, Maya. That's all I need to hear for now. Alright, so I just realized this. So you're sitting here, you are now retained counsel. And you're sitting here in this detention cell, right? You have a camera and you have a guard here. So technically, if you're a retained attorney, you have the absolute privilege to sit with your client without anybody else in the room. Obviously, for security reasons, they may have a camera, but they're also not allowed to pick up sound at that point. Usually what they'll have is they'll have some sort of alarm system in case. And this has absolutely happened where an inmate who's being represented will attack their attorney, at which point the attorney will go and like hit the switch on the wall, which calls deputies to come in and, you know, break up the fight. But this dude here in the back, he should absolutely be fucking off right now. I got your cell phone back. Oh, get to listen to the voice. Oh, sad. Absolutely no idea. I trust you. Don't you think I did it too? No, I don't. That detective, yeah, he does. Marv thinks you did it. Poor sis. All right. Okay, well, let's go back to the Gatewater Hotel and see if we can't find out what's going on. You are... I beg your pardon, sir. The bellboy of this establishment, at your service. He's kind of got the Hwarong hair. You know, he's got it all slicked back. I don't know, Drew, if you're still in here, but he's kind of got the hair slicked back, and he's got the little red highlights going on here. All he needs is the eye patch. Yeah, so we'll just cover his eye with the mouse. Yeah, that's very Hwarong-esque. Came up to deliver room service. Do you know where Miss May might be? Is currently using your facilities. I'll be taking my leave. So you managed to get in this room, this hotel room, without her opening the door for you. Now's my chance to snoop around a bit. Almost forgot. Gah, you came back quick. Miss May, that there's a message for her. Mr. White of Blue Corp phoned. Mr. White of Blue Corp? Where have I heard that name? That was his name. My sister told me. All right. Could it be a coincidence? What do we have here? A wiretap? All right, so now we're stealing evidence. That's interesting. I'll get to this woman's bottom. Still there? Time to scram. I look forward to tangoing with you tomorrow, Miss May. In court. To be continued. All right. I will save my progress to this point. All right. So I've been streaming 2 hours and 40-ish minutes. Chad, you still helping out with Pad Mock Trial? I would like to, very much. I'm not sure what their current status is right now. I know that Ushna is heading up the mock trial team this year. I know they had a little bit of difficulty recruiting with COVID and all that stuff, and I know that the competition this year is being held virtually. I did receive an email asking me to be a judge for the trial, and I will probably I'll probably accept and be a Zoom judge for that trial. But yeah, if you get in touch with the people there and you know they need any assistance, it's always nice to kindly remind them that I'm always happy to help out the team. Love coming back to the law school. Love helping out the team and stuff. So yeah, That's the current status right now. You may know more than I do. So yeah. um, but yeah, so we're at 2 hours and 42 minutes. I don't think I have it in me to go through the trial, so I'm probably gonna end the stream here. Be a judge. Patty, for your context, every year I am a judge for a law school mock trial competition. As a mock trial competition that I participated when I was in law school, and it's always really fun. Typically, it's held in Washington, D.C., so I'll fly over to D.C., and it's usually a really good weekend. I see a lot of colleagues and stuff like that. I get to hang out, meet some law students, get to judge a competition. They have this whole case. It's a made-up case and stuff like that. And students from all these different law schools from across the nation, they compete and they actually litigate the trial against one another. It's really, really cool. It's really, really fun. Best guest helper we had. World War 85. Who? I guess I gotta ask now. Who are you right now, anyways? I don't know you by your Twitch name. Yeah, Patricia, it's awesome. It's something I love doing. It's something I want to continue doing. It's one of my favorite things I look forward to every year. I'm really sad that I'm not able to actually go to DC. Justin, how's it going? Awesome. Glad you made it in. I'm sure, Justin, with what you've learned in law school thus far, especially with your experience on the mock trial team, I'm sure you saw plenty of stuff throughout this play that you probably thought was really wacky. Is it Hansel and Gretel? Hansel and Gretel. What does that mean? And Justin, if I'm not mistaken, you have 1 year left after this, correct? It's a good way to end the semester, absolutely. 5 credits this spring. That's it. Oh, and then you're done? The mock trial case. It's a lot of different things. It varies from year to year. Every year, someone else will make a case, and it's really awesome. I remember the year I competed, it was about a mixed martial arts fighter who, at some point in her past, a guy had burned down her home and killed her spouse and her child. And then she was in a bar on the anniversary date, on the day this person was released from prison. And it was a murder trial. And there was a lot of contested questions of whether it was self-defense or premeditated murder, knowing he was getting out of jail or getting out of prison and stuff like that. I've had other cases. I mean, the guy who's written a lot of these cases recently is a criminal defense attorney down in Tennessee. So he does a lot of criminal cases. I kind of want to write a case for mock trial, and I want to make it a products liability civil litigation trial about somebody who gets burnt really bad at a hibachi restaurant to see if they can make a strict liability claim or a negligence claim against the hibachi restaurant. I think that'd be cool. Our year it was Jack Gray Lamb hallucinated, saw zombies, and killed 6 people in a mall. That's very true. That was one of the most interesting mock trial cases I've ever read, because it was interesting because, like, there was no dispute that this person killed them. It was only a dispute of whether they were actually insane, which I thought was very fun. It was a very linear, very nested case with not a lot of different ways to go, but it was just fun to hear those rhetorical arguments, especially in closing argument, about why this guy was lying about being insane or why he was insane. So yeah, the Jack Gray Lamb case was really, really fun. But yeah, so It is really, really fun. Gosh. If you've never seen a mock trial, if you ever have the opportunity, whether it's high school, undergraduate, or law school, even actual lawyers do mock trials to prepare for their cases. Like get, uh, they'll actually run the trial based on what they think the opposition is going to do if they have the time and the resources to do that, and the client's willing to pay for it, just to kind of measure how a jury feels about some of their case theories and stuff like that. Trials are pretty exceedingly rare, especially in the civil litigation world. But yeah, they still absolutely happen. So if you ever have the opportunity, Patty, definitely go check one out. Justin, that's super exciting to hear that you only have 5 credits left in the upcoming spring. Excited for you to take the bar exam. As always, if you have any questions, any concerns about it, I'm more than happy to talk you through that stuff. Dude, you're a freaking smart guy. I have absolutely no doubts. You'll crush the bar exam though. But yeah, so we're at just short of 3 hours. I'm gonna end the stream here. Thanks everyone for stopping in and watching. This is kind of an interesting stream that somebody whispered in my ear that I should do, so I'm really glad I got to do it. And I think it was really fun. I think I'll do it again. So absolutely. Anyways, everybody have a really good night. Justin, thanks for the follow. Thanks also to VSwitch64, Nas and Cantor, for your follows today, and of course everybody who stopped in just to watch me play games. Thanks so much. Actually, is Patty, is Chobo still streaming? We can move the stream over to Patty. That'd be really fun. Can take a look real quick. Sadly, no, she is not, and I don't think there's anyone here that actually, yeah, we'll host just a spirit. That'll be fun. Host. Oops, not typing. / just a spirit. He's running some Tekken, really cool guy. Check out his stream. Super nice guy. Absolutely hang out with him and talk for a while.